and governance across your virtual workloads. You can instantly access protected virtual machine images to support new use cases, such as quickly deploying development and test environments. You can also increase your business resiliency using cyber recovery capabilities. Automated workflows protect and isolate critical data, identify suspicious activity, and accelerate recovery, helping you quickly resume normal business operations. Managing your data also means continuously tracking the health of your protection environment. With SaaS-based monitoring and reporting, you gain visibility without added complexity. Experience that IT transformation and operations with PowerProtect Data Manager, a modern cloud data protection solution that unlocks your data's value.
We didn't stop at modern intelligent storage. We kept going to give you more enterprise capabilities, management so smart it almost runs itself, and access to advanced technology for any organization. And we made it all future-proof. PowerStore 500. Together, we stop at nothing, so nothing's in your way.
When the sun shines, its light reveals the world in full color. The sun radiates more than just the visible spectrum of the sunlight. It also radiates hidden electromagnetic energy. What can you do with the energy you can't see? You can heat your dinner, talk to a friend half a world away, enjoy a clean glass of water. The potential is limitless. Like the sun's energy, data streams into your organization, and much of it remains invisible and unused. But this data is full of bright possibilities for those who can see them. Using all of your data can illuminate opportunities to reimagine business models, product innovations, customer experiences, and the world. By widening your spectrum of usable data, you can do so much more with it. More importantly, it can do so much more for you. Dell Technologies knows data. We can help you discover data across hybrid clouds, on-premises, off-premises, and at the edge. Our technologies help you curate data, storing, protecting, preparing, and governing data wherever it exists. And Dell Technologies innovations can help you activate data-driven insights that lead to better business outcomes. Your data can help you, and we can help you with your data. Illuminate opportunity. Reveal the full potential of your data with Dell Technologies.
Presenting PowerStore. It's smart, it's adaptable. The future of storage is here, with up to 7 times more performance and up to 3 times lower latency, featuring data-in-place upgrades for 0 downtime and greater app mobility with consistent edge-to-core to cloud operations. Let's make one step ahead real with PowerStore from Dell Technologies.
We didn't stop at end-to-end IT solutions. We made them for the data era, so you can put insights to work and give customers what they demand. Together, we stop at nothing, so nothing's in your way.
Imagine storage so easy to manage. It changes your perspective and accelerates innovation. Reach higher with storage as a service. Together, we never stop reaching.
Every day, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data are created, and locked within is an opportunity to meet real-time business needs, to drive new outcomes. So how can you leverage your data's value? You can by addressing IT complexity and data growth head-on. You can by ensuring that your data and applications are protected and available when you need them. You can take advantage of your data's value by transitioning to a broader cloud data protection strategy, one that places you on the path to modernizing your data center and unlocks the value of your data and applications for everyone. This is an evolution, and it begins with PowerProtect Data Manager from Dell Technologies. Data Manager goes beyond the ability to back up and restore data. It gives you valuable insight into protected workloads, applications, file systems, and virtual machines. plus complete oversight and governance to ensure compliance. Leverage the cloud for backup, long-term retention, and disaster recovery. Whether you're focusing on the private, public, or hybrid cloud, you can confidently protect your data at the level you need. Automatically discover virtual machines and Kubernetes containers, while a common policy engine automates compliance and governance across your virtual workloads. You can instantly access protected virtual machine images to support new use cases, such as quickly deploying development and test environments. You can also increase your business resiliency using cyber recovery capabilities. Automated workflows protect and isolate critical data, identify suspicious activity, and accelerate recovery, helping you quickly resume normal business operations. Managing your data also means continuously tracking the health of your protection environment. With SaaS-based monitoring and reporting, you gain visibility without added complexity. Experience faster IT transformation and operational simplicity with PowerProtect Data Manager, a modern cloud data protection solution that unlocks your data's value.
We didn't stop at modern intelligent storage. We kept going to give you more enterprise capabilities, management so smart it almost runs itself, and access to advanced technology for any organization. And we made it all future-proof. PowerStore 500. Together, we stop at nothing, so nothing's in your way.
When the sun shines, its light reveals the world in full color. But the sun radiates more than just the visible spectrum we call sunlight. It also radiates hidden electromagnetic energy. What can you do with the energy you can't see? You can heat your dinner, talk to a friend half over the water, enjoy a clean glass of water. The potential is limitless. Like the sun's energy, data streams into your organization, and much of it remains invisible and unused. But this data is full of bright possibilities for those who can see it. Using all your data can illuminate opportunities to reimagine business models, product innovations, customer experiences, and our world. By widening your spectrum of usable data, you can do so much more with it. More importantly, it can do so much more for you. Dell Technologies knows data. We can help you discover data across hybrid clouds, on-premises, off-premises, and at the edge. Our technologies help you curate data, storing, protecting, preparing, and governing data wherever it exists. And Dell Technologies innovations can help you activate data-driven insights that lead to better business outcomes. Your data can help you, and we can help you with your data. Illuminate opportunity. Reveal the full potential of your data with Dell Technologies.
Presenting PowerStore. It's smart, it's adaptable. The future of storage is here, with up to 7 times more performance and up to 3 times lower latency. Featuring data in place upgrades for zero downtime and greater app mobility with consistent edge to core to cloud operations. Let's make one step ahead real with PowerStore from Dell Technologies.
We didn't stop at end-to-end IT solutions. We made them for the data era, so you can put insights to work and give customers what they demand. Together we stop at nothing, so nothing's in your way.
Imagine storage so easy to manage. It changes your perspective and accelerates innovation. Reach higher with storage as a service. Together, we never stop reaching.
Every day, 200 trillion bytes of data are created, and locked within is an opportunity to meet real-time business needs to drive new outcomes. So how can you leverage your data's value? You can by addressing IT complexity and data growth head-on. You can by ensuring that your data and applications are protected and available when you need them. You can take advantage of your data's value by transitioning to a broader cloud data places you on the path to modernizing your data center and unlocks the value of your data and applications for everyone. This is an evolution, and it begins with PowerProtect Data Manager from Dell Technologies. Data Manager goes beyond the ability to back up and restore data. It gives you valuable insight into protected workloads, applications, file systems, and virtual machines, plus complete oversight and governance to ensure compliance. Leverage the cloud for backup, long-term retention, and disaster recovery. Whether you're focusing on the private, public, or hybrid cloud, you can confidently protect your data at the level you need. Automatically discover virtual machines and Kubernetes containers, while the Kern policy engine automates compliance and governance across your virtual workloads. You can instantly access protected virtual machine images to support new use cases, such as quickly deploying development and test environments. You can also increase your business resiliency using cyber recovery capabilities. Automated workflows protect and isolate critical data, identify suspicious activity, and accelerate recovery, helping you quickly resume normal business operations. Managing your data also means continuously tracking the health of your protection environment. With SaaS-based monitoring and reporting, you gain visibility without added complexity. Experience faster IT transformation and operational simplicity with PowerProtect Data Manager, a modern cloud data protection solution that unlocks your data's value.
We didn't stop at modern intelligent storage. We kept going to give you more enterprise capabilities, management so smart it almost runs itself, and access to advanced technology for any organization. And we make it all future-proof. PowerStore 500. Together, we stop at nothing, so nothing's in the way.
When the sun shines, its light reveals the world in full color. But the sun radiates more than just the visible spectrum we call sunlight. It also radiates hidden electromagnetic energy. What can you do with the energy you can't see? You can hunt your dinner, talk to a friend halfway away, enjoy a clean glass of wine. The potential is limitless. Like the sun's energy, data streams into your organization, and much of it remains invisible and unused. But this data is full of bright possibilities for those who can see. Using all your data can illuminate opportunities to reimagine business models, product innovations, customer experiences, and the world. By widening your spectrum of usable data, you can do so much more with it. More importantly, it can do so much more for you. Dell Technologies knows data. We can help you discover data across hybrid clouds, on-premises, off-premises, and at the edge. Our technologies help you curate data, storing, protecting, preparing, and governing data wherever it exists. And Dell Technologies innovations can help you activate data-driven insights that lead to better business outcomes. Your data in your cloud, and we can help you use your data. Illuminate opportunity. Reveal the full potential of your data with Dell Technologies.
Presenting PowerStore. It's smart, it's adaptable. The future of storage is here, with up to 7 times more performance and up to 3 times lower latency. Featuring data in place upgrades for zero downtime.
A very, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Request you all to please come inside and take your seats as we are about to begin our session in the next few minutes. Thank you.
We didn't stop at end-to-end IT solutions. We made them for the data era, so you can put insights to work and give.
Hello. Hello. Very good evening. May I request few of our team members who are outside to come and take the seats, please. Okay. Thank you so much. On behalf of Dell and Ingram Micro, I thank you all for deciding to invest this evening with us. I truly believe that post today's event, when we all go back, we will have a lot of learnings to take for ourselves and for our organization, right? Really, we will have a very, very insightful and detailed sessions today. We will have team members from Dell who will be giving very, very strong insights on the new offerings of Dell. We will also have strong insights on the entire storage portfolio. We will also talk about the backup solutions that we have. And last but not the least, but the most relevant and important, the Dell support and services offerings, right? Which actually gives us the lead and cutting edge over competition, right? So having said that, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome the Dell team. We have Rakesh here. Hi Rakesh. We have Ashish. We will have Debashish joining soon. And we have our very own Khalid who is going to start the session for us. And we also have Christy, right? Where's Christy? Yeah, Christy. Okay. So I will not take much of time. I once again welcome each one of you here and thank you for coming. Just before I give the stage to Khalid, we would want to quickly have a short video of Mr. Navneet Singh Bindra, who is our CC at Ingram Micro India. Okay.
Welcome to Ingram Micro, the world's leading technology solutions aggregator and distributor. We are humbled to be the preferred partner for more than 15,000 value-added resellers and service providers in India, who cater to businesses and consumers across the country. We are proud of our team of talented and courageous associates who fulfill our mission of enabling businesses realize the promise of technology with integrity and responsibility. If you are already associated with Ingram Micro as an employee, partner, or vendor, thank you for your continued support. And if not, let us work together to deliver great results that defy imagination.
Okay, thank you. Post our insightful and informative sessions, we will also have a Q&A session. I really motivate and encourage each one of you to keep that session very, very interactive. And after the Q&A session, of course, we will have dinner and the networking session. Thank you so much once again.
Wow, what a great start. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session. Ladies and gentlemen, a business leader, Mr. Vishal Hegde, General Manager at Ingram Micro. Let's have a huge round of applause, please. A very, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a bright day to begin a wonderful experience. Namaste. My name is Melanie Pace, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all here on behalf of Ingram Micro and Dell Technologies. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and being a part of this experience. Next, to share some glimpses on how we can help customers to understand the use of IT, to do more with their data and drive additional value from what they already have, while also unlocking the potential of new opportunities, and to speak about innovate with data and driving storage sales velocity with Dell Smart Value Bundles. I would like to invite on stage Mr. Khalid Sheikh, Systems Engineer, West Channel, Dell Technologies, India. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause, please.
Hello everyone, am I audible? I mean, for the past 2.5 years I've been saying this, am I audible on my Zoom sessions? So at last we are here back face to face. It feels really good and lively to look at all of you and speak to you guys. Any queries you guys can unmute, sorry not unmute, just directly ask me. It will feel much better. A very warm welcome to all of you. So today guys, I'm going to talk about how Dell Technologies can help us in winning in this data era. Now what does actually this data era mean? Let's see, let's talk about it. So if you see from the slide, going forward by 2022, which currently is going on, around 65% of the world economy is going to be digital. Now when I say digital, what does it mean? When I say digital, it means more and more data. It has been observed, it is going to be around 59 zettabytes of data. Now this amount of data, which is like 59 zettabytes, what is the first thing that comes to my mind in any organization? Huge amount of data. How am I going to manage this data, correct? That becomes the biggest worry of each and every organization to actually manage their data. Because in today's world, it's not only about managing the data, but also bringing out relevant information from that particular data. How our data can basically help an organization to grow. So this is the biggest challenge that organizations face today, is having zettabytes of data, and the data is constantly growing, it is not going to reduce. So let's talk about digital transformation. What does actually digital transformation mean? So it is nothing but, it is like a data and software. So data and software with the correct mix will actually give you a competitive advantage. When that competitive advantage is there, you can actually compete in any sort of environment. Talking about digital transformation, the basic step for digital transformation is IT transformation. Now with IT transformation, there are two challenges: traditional IT and modern IT. Now, every organization is managing their data center using the traditional IT. Now, we need an infrastructure which can not only manage their traditional IT, but also we can leverage that infrastructure for modern IT. So we can manage the applications which are there on premises and also for cloud environments. So that is the importance of this IT transformation. Having your traditional data and your modern data together in a single consolidation solution. That is the importance of Dell Technologies and IT transformation. So let's begin with this. When I talk about IT transformation, digital transformation, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Or what is the first thing that comes to a customer's mind? Everyone is having this sort of mindset that when I talk about IT transformation or digital transformation, it means I need to go to cloud. Tell me if I'm wrong. Everyone thinks the first step they think is we should move towards cloud. I think that is what is IT transformation, that is what is digital transformation. But is it true? Customer's mind is data. How you are going to manage your data? Is cloud the right step? Yes, it might be a part of the step, but is it the only step? Because there are ingress issues, there are data locality issues, there are multiple latency issues, multiple things are there on the cloud setup. But is it the right solution for us? There are two things to this. It can be the only solution or it can be a part of the solution. When you talk about being the only solution, we can see many customers today are repatriating from cloud. Now, when you're talking to your customers, I can give you one very small example. Okay? So it's like they say cloud is very, we can move towards cloud because it is very cost effective and going for buying our own infrastructure comes with a lot of cost. But let me ask all of you over here, when we come and we stay at our homes, we buy homes, correct? Though staying at a hotel is much cheaper, but is anyone over here who's constantly staying at a hotel? No, right? We actually put in a lot of money and buy a house and we stay over there. Yeah, when relatives do come, we ask them for a couple of days, you can stay at the hotel, and when the work is done, they can leave, right? So we need to choose who stays at the hotel and who stays at the house, but we need a house, right? So this is the mindset, I think. This is the mindset which should be there with the customers to have a hybrid approach towards the cloud. Cloud cannot be the only solution, but yes, having the correct approach with the hybrid cloud can be the perfect solution. And this is what we need to tell to our customers, that cloud is a step in digitalization, it is not the only step. So we need to change that mindset with the customers. Any queries, guys? Hope I'm clear here? Yep. So this is the basic challenge, like traditional applications, next gen applications. So in any organization, we can see they have old setups, whether they are databases, whether they are RDBMS, or whether they are multiple applications, which are actually traditionally based. Now these applications, these cannot be moved towards a cloud. True? For keeping their lights on, they have to use their traditional applications. But for moving further, they need their next gen applications which has to be on the cloud. True? So they need an infra. Basically, they need an infra which can have support for traditional applications as well, and which can also leverage the next gen applications, which can keep your solution at the edge and also at the core and move your data towards the cloud as well. So this is the importance which Dell Technologies bring. As you can see, both the next gen applications and the traditional applications can stay together at one single consolidated solution. So these are the infrastructure solutions from Dell Technologies. There are storages, we are number one in storages, servers, data protection as well. Sorry. And networking CI and CI. I'm going to brief a little bit more about storages in my coming slides. So with Dell Technologies, how can we harness the power of data? What does it actually mean? With the kind of portfolio which I just showed about storages, CI, HCI, networking, backup, it has from mainframe to containers and everything that is there in between them. All the solutions are provided by the broad portfolio which the Dell Technologies offer, right? And all our portfolios can also manage legacy applications, legacy data, and as well as the cloud-enabled consistently insights onto the solution, as well as autonomy is also there with Dell Technologies. And with both these power, we also have the name of storage DNA of Dell, which keeps us future-proof. Loyalty programs are there, and also world-class services provided by Dell Technologies Services team. So these are the portfolios of external enterprise storage, all-flash storages, high-end external, mid-range, entry external, and storage softwares. I'm going to brief about mid-range external storage in my coming slide. Our most favorite and revolutionary product by Dell Technologies, PowerStore. Now guys, I've been standing here and saying few things. I hope all of you are understanding it, because at the end of the session I'm going to ask few questions, and the correct answer will help you to get a reward. Okay? So anyone can tell me about PowerStore? I'm sure everyone knows about PowerStore. Anyone? Come on guys, let's make it interactive. You're bringing the feel of Zoom again. Okay, with PowerStore, I started the session with the statement of stating how data is causing a big issue in terms of management of data. Now when I talk management of data, along with management, operations also become very difficult of that particular data. Now both these problems can be solved with this technology of PowerStore. Any type of data, it says any workload, whether it is container, whether it is SAN, NAS, anything, any type of data can be consolidated into this single 2U storage solution, that is PowerStore. It is highly performance optimized and it has the efficiency without compromise. Now what does that mean? I'll give you a small example. In PowerStore, we have an always on inline deduplication, which gives approximately 4:1 dedupe. So it means if I have a base level of PowerStore with 6 disks, okay? Now in this 6 disks, which is of 1.92 terabytes, which gives around 12 TB of storage space, usable comes around 7 terabytes, okay? Now because of this 4:1, okay, PowerStore can actually give effective capacity of 28 terabytes. Now just imagine 4:1, a customer who's asking for a solution which is around 100 terabytes, you're providing him a solution with 25 terabyte usable, and it is able to suffice his 100 terabyte requirement. Imagine the cost savings you're doing for the customer. True? That is the advantage that PowerStore brings onto the table. Now, with large amount of data, what becomes another problem? Management of data, right? If you notice, everyone talks about the cloud, how they manage the data. So if you notice, on cloud, we have a thing known as IaaS, which is known as infrastructure as a code, right? What is the advantage of this? In this, we can actually code our infrastructure. It means we can actually automate our provisionings. Same thing can be done on PowerStore. The infrastructure is absolutely programmable. Okay. Now in this, whether you have a VRO plugin or CSI drivers for Kubernetes or Ansible, you can actually automate. All your automation can be done in PowerStore. Now let me give you a small example. In any organization, if I want 10 tera or 100 GB of space, okay, application guy will raise a request of 10 GB of space. The request will go to the program manager. Program manager will say, okay, we'll set up a server, or networking guy will do his work. At the end, it will come to the storage administrator, and he will assign that 10 GB of space. True? Since it is being done by human error can be done. Instead of 10 GB, probably he provides just 1 GB. And imagine he provided at 1 GB and he left for the day. Application guy has to wait for the entire day or probably a weekend for him to come back and correct that particular error. True? Now with this programmable infrastructure, all you need to do is have a setup or a VRO plugin, a playbook, okay? In that particular playbook, you can just put in your data once. It will run, it will see everything is working fine, and then next time onwards, all you have to do is enter the amount of space you want. Within 10 seconds, you will have that space allocated. This is the advantage programmable infrastructure brings in. Autonomous appliance. With PowerStore, I have not seen any storage solution which is having both scale up and scale out properties. It will either have one of those. But with PowerStore, we can scale up also, we can scale out also. In this way, we can scale out up to 4 PowerStore storage solutions. All these 4 can be combined and managed by a single GUI. The management of data can be done from one place to another. It is a machine learning capability is built in. You do not have to choose which storage solution, which storage node will I have to manage the data. Everything will be done autonomously in this. We do not have to spend time in managing the data from one node to another node. Everything is automated in this particular PowerStore storage solution. And with that storage solution, it also has got health analytics, with where it will definitely show us about all the 4 storage solutions which are there, about the health of those storage solutions. And it has got a flexible architecture and flexible consumption models are also there. You can get in touch with us and we can definitely help you with the flexible consumption model as well. Any queries, guys? PowerStore? VxRail. So 5 years back, I guess if I'm right, VxRail was jointly engineered HCI system with VMware. We first time came to the market. And look, today we are #1 in HCI. We have got approximately 12,400 customers, a $6 billion revenue, and a high availability of almost 4 times 9 availability is available today. It supports VDI, video analysis, SAP HANA, Kubernetes, you name it, it has a support. With VxRail latest offering, it has also got supports to all the AIML and Kubernetes as well. So this is, now let's talk about Apex. What does Apex model of Dell say? Any idea, guys? What is Apex?
Pay-as-you-go.
Yeah, someone?
Yeah, pay-as-you-go.
Correct. So what does Apex do, Anu, when you take Apex Cloud Services?
OpEx model.
Sorry?
OpEx model.
Okay. So with this, I can say that if we opt for Apex technologies, in this scenario, Dell will manage the life cycle from end to end. Okay. All the life cycle of the solution will be managed by Dell, that is end to end. Now when I say end to end, they take care of deployment, they take care of management, they take care of the services, operations, and also about the decommissioning of that particular solution. So all these things will be taken care of by Dell Technologies only. What is the advantage we get with this? As you rightly said, pay as you grow. So with forecasting, how much will they forecast for the coming year? I mean, normally all the customers during March, they have to allocate their budget for the forecasting. But with this, forecasting issues are being resolved because all you have to do is pay as you grow. And as per the demand, you can go, you can scale up, you can scale down as per the requirements. So that is the advantage Apex brings onto the table. Now, as you said, rightly said, pay as you go. So we can make predictable payments over agreed cycle and with a predetermined rate. If we don't want to do this, we can also pay as and when required, but the pricings will change with that. And it can also be provided as a service. Now when I say service, these are the different services. Apex Data Storage Services, Apex Cloud Services, and Apex Custom Solutions. Now in this Apex Cloud Services or Storage Services, it's very simple for the customer to understand and to start using it. Now when I say simple, how simple can it be? Any idea, guys? How simple the storage solution can be? How simple is it for the customers to go ahead? There are 3 or 4 steps hardly. The type of data you want, block or file. The base size of data you want. What is the base size that you want to start off with? The length of the timing, how long you want the data services to be there for. These are the simple basic things, and the location of the data, where you actually want the services. You choose this and you're good to go. That's how simple Apex is. With this Apex, I would like to conclude my session now, the first one. So any queries, guys? With this, I'll be asking few questions and the winner will be rewarded.
Khalid, I have one question.
Yes, please, Manish.
Yeah. So I'll be asking this question on behalf of all the partners, right?
Okay.
Hello. So I'm asking all this question on behalf of all the partners, right, Khalid?
Yes, please.
Any extra revenue for all the sales representative for organization for partners, right? If they sell Unity and PowerStore.
Yes, I will start that session now.
Okay.
If you can address how Apex can be positioned for a born-in cloud company, that would be great.
Alright.
We would like to know if you can probably throw some light on how we can position Apex for a born-in cloud company.
Which cloud company?
Born-in cloud.
Okay.
The new age companies which are primarily working on the cloud. How can we position Apex there?
So if you see in those kind of companies, or we can when we are trying to position, just like how we are positioning our infrastructure, whether it is a storage solution or whether it is our HCI solution. Now, the only worry for the customers in that is they have to buy the entire infra and keep it on their particular premises. So that is their worry, correct? And that is the only thing that is keeping them away from Dell Technologies and moving towards cloud. Now imagine they can have the best of both the worlds, correct? They can have the same solution which is there with Dell, and they can keep it on the cloud, which will not be managed by them. But they can grow just like how AWS or a GCP cloud grows. So they will have everything that is provided, and with this provision as well, they can connect to a multi-cloud system as well. So if they want to leverage something from some other cloud, that can be done as well. So I think this is the best way to go about it. We can position how our infrastructure and we can be taken onto a cloud premises. So I think that's the best way to go about it. Hope that answers. I'll highlight a partner program for our SVB bundles now. So as you can see, these are the benefits and incentives one can achieve with a greater revenue for, and if you see the rebates for storage was like for titanium partners, if example, let's take an example, 4%, and if we have this 4%, it will be added to new business, that is 9%, or Comsort or Tech Refresh, which is 1%. Now provided this was the general one, now the addition you will get is 2%, which is there with PowerStore or Unity XT. So this is like, it's like 4. In case you have a PowerStore DR done or a Unity XT, a deal gone through, it will be like 4 plus 9, which will be like 13, 13 plus 2. So there will be a rebate of overall 15%. Similarly, we have for servers as well now. Servers, it is around 8%. For clients as well, there is 3% for new business. Talking about the promotions, we have new bundles which have come off. ME5, which is the latest offering from Dell, and this is as good as our mid-range storage, and which starts from itself is around USD $10,000. Now this is an entry-level storage. Exactly the pricing in rupees I will be sharing in my coming slides. Then we have Unity 380, 480 starting from approximately $20,000. Now when I say $20,000 will be approximately like 15 lakh rupees approx, and this is for all flash models. Then we have got PowerStore starting from approximately $25,000. As I've explained about the PowerStore, it supports NVMe, all flash 4:1 data reduction as well. It has got scale out architecture, and Unity XT supports unified workloads. We all know about Unity, and it comes in hybrid and all flash models as well. For DP4400, it starts with USD $20,000. The advantage with DP4400 is like it has got a dedupe of around 65:1. It is the best in class appliance in today's world. With DP3300, if you want to go for a lower version as well for entry level, it starts with as low as $10,000. It is one of the best tape replacement solutions we have in today's world. Then we have Power Protect Backup Service. It is available for all the SaaS applications starting from $1,800 for 50 users for a year. Now this is one of the most interesting part. Now this is for my rewards. So if there is a Unity XT approved DR, okay, and it is open to all the partners, so you will earn approximately $150 per unit for 380F, 480F, 380 hybrid, 480 hybrid. With PowerStore, that doubles, it becomes $300. For PowerStore 500 and 1000. It is eligible for all the Metal and AR partners. Now I talk about the SVBs. We have already discussed in a rough figure, but let me come to the description of all those solutions. This is about ME5. As you can see with ME5 5012 model, it has got an all SaaS protocol, dual controller, and 3x4 terabytes, 7.2 NL SAS. This particular model can be got at as low as 7,05,000 rupees. Now this amount is inclusive of taxes. Then if you want to opt for an iSCSI model, it has got 6x12 terabytes. Now that approximately comes around 72 terabytes of overall capacity, and the value of price with taxes is around 8,78,000. For FC 6x12 terabytes FC protocol, the value comes around 9,22,000. Now this all value is for 5012 Powerwall model. Coming to 5024 dual controllers, for same model 3 into 1.2 terabyte will come around 7 lakhs, and similarly for FC protocol will go at 9,38,000. Now the prices which I am sharing is all inclusive of taxes. Now, I mean, this ME5 solution is one of the best. It's an entry level, but it provides the maximum of takes care of maximum of your workloads. It is very good for customers in terms of their applicability and also in terms of their efficiency. And with this pricing, I don't think anything can match this. Now comes to PowerStore. Now in PowerStore, the base model of PS500T, it is the base model, like I said earlier, 6 into 1.92 terabytes. Now when I talk about 6 into 1.92, it becomes approximately 12 terabytes. Usable will come around 7 terabytes. True? In that usable 7, we can make effective of around 24 terabytes. So effective capacity of 24 terabytes, and you are getting the solution for 16 lakhs plus taxes. Similarly, if you opt for PowerStore 1000T, in this particular solution with similar configuration, we can get it for 20 lakhs 50,000 plus taxes. Now we all know the advantage of PowerStore solution. That's why the costing. It supports any sort of workload, container-based architecture. What does container-based architecture mean, guys? Container-based makes it very light in terms of architecture, so it is able to perform much better than any monolithic architecture. That is the advantage of having a container-based architecture. And in any case of any new additions, for example, any new thing is coming up with any new releases, all you have to do is just add a container onto it. So without disrupting the existing solution, we can add any new container and it will enhance the performance of PowerStore. That is the advantage PowerStore brings on. Okay, now Unity 380, with this, a usable capacity of around 6 terabytes, 6 into 1.TB SAS. With deal reg, the costing comes around 6,50,000 approximately plus taxes. This comes with 380 all flash. Now with 380 all flash, usable capacity is 17.5 terabyte, 16,97,000 plus taxes. So around approximately 17 lakhs plus taxes, which gives it around 17.5 terabyte. Any queries, guys, with the bundles? Yes. Who asked? Yeah, it is.
So, in terms of compression and inline duplication.
Sorry?
Compression and inline duplication.
Yeah, it is there. These are the, sorry, all the things which are available, all the services available with this pricing. So actually, if you see, the pricing is 53 lakhs, 58 lakhs, but with this deal reg code, it makes it 16 lakhs, 17 lakhs. That is the advantage we have right now. So I would suggest all of you take use of this advantage and try to sell maximum as possible. Okay, now can we ask some questions? Can we? Okay. With which storage solution provides 4:1 deal cube? Okay, like this I'm not going to.
So we have gifts.
Khalid, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions to them, if you permit me for 5 minutes.
Yeah, please.
So guys, my name is Manish Kashyap. I manage the channel for Dell for West. You know what is the biggest factor to motivate all of us? Paisa, commercially. So I'll ask one question to you, sir. What is the back-end rebate for storage last year? अभी आपने slide देखा है, वो छोटा था. I'll make the big one. What is the back-end storage?
7%.
7% wrong. Anybody? Last year ka? Before Jan, it was 8%. It was 8% on competitive swap and NVM. Khalid, can you please move the slide to the rebate structure? Pehla slide. So commercially, this is very important, guys. I hope the pen and paper is in front of you, and I'm ensuring that whoever sells this should know should be knowing this, right? So for gold tier, titanium and platinum, right? And I'm sure every partner here who are present are falling in some kind of tier, right? There is a rebate for authorized partner also for storage, who are not gold tier or titanium or platinum. Authorized will be rebated, right? So for platinum partners, there is 4% standard rebate. 4%, irrespective of any opportunities you bring and you sell for storage, right? Upfront margin nahi hoga, but your rebate zero nahi hoga. It's a rebatable deal, 4%. Now you replace a competition, for example, HP. Okay, you replace an HP with PowerStore, with Unity, you get additional 9%. How much? 9 plus 4? 9 plus 4 is 13, right? Now, if you replace that HP storage with Unity and with PowerStore, you get additional 2%. Kitna ho gaya total? 15%. This is a fantastic rebate what we have gotten to all the partners. 15% rebate. Either you sell storage or backup or PowerStore, anything. Replacing any kind of competitive self storage. Replacing HP, IBM, Lenovo, Commvault, Debashish, correct me if I'm wrong. Vim, Veritas, anything which backup and with storage, right? Earlier, last year, we don't have backend rebate for servers also, for competitive swap. This time, guys, we have bought competitive swap amount for you for servers also. If you replace an HP server with Dell servers, competitive swap, you get 8%. 8% rebate, flat, right? 8%. Irrespective of any tier, you are belonging to metal tier, you are belonging to titanium, platinum or gold. ये rebate standard है, जो CommSwap का है. Now there is a thumb rule also here in CommSwap. There is a letter which has to be signed by the account manager and by your sales rep or by your MD. So this is an organizational amount, right, which your organization get at the back end. आपके लिए क्या है? So Khalid will explain what is there for a sales rep. So this rebate has to be there on your tip of the fingers. कि अगर मैं HP को replace करता हूँ with Unity and PowerStore, what will be my backend? Okay, I am a Titanium partner. So Titanium का 3% backend है, 9% इसका है, 2% अगर मैंने Unity PowerStore है, तो you should add this. And upfront margin is separate. Correct? Correct? And for servers also. Servers is 8%. For tier, it's 1.5 जो standard है. लेकिन CommSwap करेंगे आप तो 8% plus 1.5. 9.5 on servers. Today's servers is a commodity. And I'm sure every partner here is a value seller. They are earning good margin upfront. Agar suppose upfront margin कम रहा, you can earn on the back end. So very, very good. You can see this, right? PowerStore and Unity additional 2%. Positioning this box. Okay, and these are all unified guys, unified box. NAS, SAN, both. And I'm sure you know much technical than me. Correct? Are we on the same page? Guys, are we on the same page? Yes. Rebates याद रहेगा आपको, correct? So start positioning, earn this rebate. That's all. Ali?
Yeah.
Over to you.
So So now let me ask the question. Please raise your hands. What is the rebate for a technical seller for PowerStore per unit? Individual. Anyone? I have mentioned.
It's a
$300.
Yeah. So your name please?
Tejas.
Tejas. Thank you, Tejas. Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Next question, please. Is Unity a SAN solution or a unified solution? I'll ask which model are you Unity on. Okay, the first one who raised, yeah.
Unity.
Yeah. It is a SAN or unified?
Unified.
Unified.
Congratulations.
Okay, now I think enough of freebies now. Now, what is the model number of entry level data protection, which is like it starts from US $10,000? DD. Yeah. Who said that? Yeah, that's the one. Right now. DP33.
So we have 2 more gifts left.
So guys, get up.
And we do have food after this, so you're gonna get re-energized. So you can use all your energy in this, interactive session. Can we hear a huge cheer, please? Yes?
What is the effective capacity with PowerStore base model?
Any of our beautiful ladies?
Yep, right.
Congratulations.
Okay, now the last one. What is the overall packet rebate for a titanium partner with tech refresh for a Unity or a PowerStore?
15.
No.
16.
Sorry?
16.
No.
13.
15.
Guys, please note I've said tech refresh, not ComSwap or NBI.
9.
3. Yeah, let's start with 1, 2, 3.
5. 5.
So I think I'll keep this last one. Yeah, who said that? Yeah, that's right.
That is 1%.
7.
Sorry?
No. Thank you guys. It was lovely sharing the stage with you guys.
Well, thank you, sir, for such valuable information. And now to give insights on secure and protect your data, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome on stage Mr. Debashish, Specialty Channels Lead APJ for Data Protection Solution, Dell Technologies. Let's give him a huge round of applause, please.
मनीष ने और खालिद ने काफ़ी सारे तरीके बताए पैसे कमाने के, करेक्ट? So that's very very important by the way. So this is a huge potential to get back-end rebate. Point number one. Point number two. Back-end rebate goes to the organization, right? So if you are also measured on margin, then that's a very very important piece. But as an individual, the spiff that we show is very lucrative, right? The $300, $150. So, in Indian currency, per piece you sell and you take that much money home. Now, in that, I'm just going to add that when you talked about storage, the NBI, okay? So, NBI definition for Dell is where either it's a new logo, which goes without saying. Other thing is where we have not sold for 36 months. We have not billed for 36 months. So it could be our existing customer, but we have not built a storage there in the last 36 months, that is 3 years. So then that also becomes eligible for new business incentive, the NBI rebate, okay? And that's 9%. Similarly, the ComSwap, when you look at it, that's also 9%. And ComSwap, wherever you are going and selling, most likely you will be replacing something. So that means you should proactively check that whether the solution that you are going to propose to the customer, is it replacing one of the competitive brands? If yes, the key important part is the deal registration that you do, you have to mention ComSwap. The NBI part can be taken care of by the Dell system itself. So when you do the deal registration, you will see that if it's a new business incentive, it will be mentioned as NBI. But ComSwap, it will not be mentioned by default. It will be you who has to put it as ComSwap. If you don't put it as ComSwap, then you don't get the rebate. Okay, so it's very, very important to get that money. Now the other point is that under the storage, data protection LOB is considered separate when it comes to NBI or ComSwap. So what does it mean? So let's say in a storage scenario, you have PowerStore, you have Unity, you have VxRail, you have other products, right? The ME series or whatever. Even if you have sold an ME series of $10,000 or 10 lakh rupees, right? 9 lakh rupees, something that you showed. And then you go and sell another storage, you don't get NBI. Because you have sold that already, the customer already has it. And therefore, even if you are selling something else, you don't get NBI, okay? But in the same account, let's say if you position a data protection component, then though the customer is using storage, the data protection product will be considered separate. And if he has not got our data protection solution, then NBI will be applicable. So therefore, this is some importance for you to know because you are engaging in the field. If you have that in the back of your mind, then you will be able to, work out how you can structure the deal, right? And what makes most sense to you in terms of which products you should position so that you can take money home. So let's say if in Unity you are getting $100 and PowerStore you are getting $300, what should we do? Should we sell Unity or should we sell PowerStore? Hello, are you listening? PowerStore, right? Effort same, customer same, solution same, only changing the product, you are getting more money home. So this is something which you should keep in mind, that how you can maximize your money, how you can maximize your revenue for your organization, and how you can maximize the revenue for Dell, right? With that background, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Devashish Bhattacharya. I have been with Dell for 7 years, including EMC. Overall, more than 25 years in the industry, primarily in storage industry and data protection industry. In this role, I manage the data protection business for channels in India, and
and also I drive the distribution business for DPS, Data Protection Solution. DPS is Data Protection Solution, okay? So manage the distribution business for Data Protection Solution for APJ, okay? So that's a brief about me. My email ID is here, so you can connect me on this email ID. Feel free to reach out to me. Anything that you need on data protection. Another important aspect before I get into what, because दो ही slide बताना है, बाकी तो कुछ है नहीं बोलने को, ठीक है? So the important part is data protection. Thankfully today Ingram has kept my session in the middle. Normally it always comes in the last, and before the drink or the dinner, you know. So half of the people don't even pay attention. So thank you Ingram for providing me the space today in between. But you know, on the serious note, you will find that the customers also consider discussion of data protection only at the end, and which is a big mistake. Because think it this way: why customer invests in IT? It's not that one gets a dream one day and tomorrow he starts investing in IT, right? What is the driving force for IT? The driving force for IT is the business. The business drives the application. So they choose the application. The application has to run on an infrastructure. That's where we come into the, you know, in the discussion part. Our application runs on server. Now every time somebody is punching one key in the keyboard, what happens? One byte or one bit of data is being created, right? So every day, new data is being created. Now that data, when you are managing efficiently, if you want to manage it efficiently, that's when you do all those storage solutions, consolidation, etc., business continuity, and so on and so forth. So essentially what is happening? The data is being created. That data is what drives the business. The data is important for their billing, if they have to ultimately get revenue for their sale, right? So the invoicing, the billing, the product design, the market, research, everything is data. If data is so important, then should not the protection of data be important? Should be, right? So if data protection is important, you should talk about data protection proactively to the customer. I know it becomes a little difficult because it is a technical solution sales, but you have pre-sales, you have Dell team who will support you. But why is it important for you as a partner? When you go into a customer with a data protection solution, you control that data center, the heart of that organization, right? Everything else, the laptops, servers, everything is replaceable. Data is not replaceable, right? So therefore, the data protection becomes important for you. That customer becomes a long-term customer. Point number one. Point number two, lot of repeat businesses opportunity. And point number three, since you are in the data center, you get to know first what are the plans of the organization in terms of expansion, growth, new applications, whatever. So then that also helps you to sell your other peripheral products, right? Be it the server, storage, network, whatever. So therefore this becomes a central stage for any discussion, and this is something which you should not avoid. Okay, so with that background, it's very simple. This is the portfolio that we have, right? So only three components. On the right hand side, yeah, this one. So in a data protection solution, what you need is called, are two components. One is the software, which will do the automated backup as per the defined policy. And second is the target storage, where that backup is to be kept, right? So in most of the customers, when you go and sell, you may see that if it is not a Dell software there, in the customer place, you might have Commvault, Veeam, Tivoli, whatever. Then they would be, that is a software only doing the automation part. Where is the data residing? In some cases, it will be the tape library, so you would know about LTO. So many people would be keeping it on tapes. Some people would be keeping it on disks, right? So it is either D to T, D to D. So D stands for the storage disk, and the T is the tape. Sometimes it is disk to disk, and sometimes it is disk to tape. Okay, so that's the way typically the architecture is. So what you have is the software, which is the center stage, which is required. This is the target storage, which is called the, what does this DD stand for? Any idea? I'm a little deaf here, I don't hear you. Louder.
Data domain.
Who said that? Good. So this DD stands for data domain. So that has been the flagship company, flagship product of EMC and Dell. Now this is a very unique product. Okay. This is also called purpose-built backup appliance. Now this device was designed to actually keep the backup storage. So it is unlike a normal disk storage. Okay. So what are the two differences or two key differentiators or three differentiators which this box has? Which this box has, which even if you are keeping on another storage, that will not have. The first key differentiator here is, sorry, I'm pressing wrong button every time. Okay, the first key differentiator here is the data deduplication, which Khalid was talking about. He mentioned 65:1 if you remember, right? So what does deduplication means? Deduplication means that the block of the data which has once been written, if the same block comes again, it will not write it in a new space. It will only keep a pointer, but the blocks will not be repeated again. Right? At the end of the day, all data is written in blocks, and it will be in combination of ones and twos, right? Ones and zeros. So this blocks, whatever is unique block will be kept, and therefore, let's say 65:1 means that if there is a 65 terabyte of storage, logically, in this box it will become 1 terabyte, logically. Okay. Now, therefore, from a customer's cost perspective, is 65 terabyte more expensive or 1 terabyte more expensive? 65, right? So what we do in this case, therefore, we are helping the customer to reduce the cost of the backup storage. Okay? Now, the deduplication will depend upon few factors, but that's more of a solution designing part. But from a sales perspective, this is what it means, up to 65:1. That's what we say. Okay? Second is the data invulnerability architecture. So DIA. Now DIA, the data invulnerability architecture, is a patented solution of technology of Dell EMC, and which ensures that the data which is written once in this storage is always correct, never corrupted, and whenever customer wants to retrieve it, he gets that immediately. Now that's a big differentiator. When somebody keeps it on tape, most of the time the tape does not restore that because of many reasons. I'll cover that. But in the disk storage also, there can be software corruption, there can be hardware failure, and so on and so forth. And once you have done the backup, it may not be able to restore. In this case, 100% data assurance. Okay, so that's the key differentiator. Third, by default, it comes with encryption and retention lock. Retention lock is the worm technology. Write once, read many. You cannot edit, modify once you implement that, right? So that also comes by default with this, which others don't provide. So these are the key value propositions from a sales perspective. If you know this, you can actually talk and just create a differentiator between your solution and the other competitor solution that comes in. Because as a sales guy, what are we supposed to do when we go to a customer? We are not the only person that customer talks to, right? He will call our competitor. Now, when he calls a competitor, if it comes to only price, then what do you take home? Nothing. So only when you are able to differentiate, you can command margin, right? So that's what this differentiator helps you with. Now, I talked about software. I talked about this purpose-built backup appliance. If we integrate this in the factory, then it becomes integrated data protection appliance, IDPA, which is the DP series. Okay? So in this case here, what happens is when somebody buys software separately and backup storage separately, then there is a question of installation, implementation, which is a time process, and there are a lot of dependencies. When it comes as an integrated appliance, it becomes simpler for the customer, right? So from Dell, what are the three main portfolio part? One is software, second is only the backup storage, and third is integrated appliance. Now, I will share some use cases with you, right, so that you know where you can position what. Now, this I broadly talked about from the three main product categories. Under the categories, if you look at it here, these are the various models of the data domain appliance, the one that was in the middle. Now, this one is only a software version of this. That means that if you sell this, and let's say the ME series that Khalid talked about, you can actually make ME series look to the software as if it is writing to a data domain. So with all those functionalities and features that I just talked about, right? So those comes here, but the advantage here is if customer doesn't want to buy the appliance, is already having some storage, or you are proposing some storage, you can use this along with it, and that can become a data domain appliance. Now, this is only software, so software defined storage, and these are the different models. 3300 is the starting point, which Khalid talked about, $10,000 price starting, right? This is the integrated appliance. In this integrated appliance, this is the one which is the entry one, but entry one is something which can be more than sufficient for most of the organizations. Only when it is a very, very high enterprise which goes, so let me tell you, this 4400, it goes up to 96 terabyte internally, it can scale up to usable capacity. But 96 terabyte, just multiply by 65. That's the amount of logical volume that you are keeping here. So most of the customers are okay, this meets that requirement. Only when the capacity goes beyond that, then the sizing will determine whether it should be this model or this model or this model. The highest being this. Okay? Similarly, on the software side, you have a data protection suite. In this, we have very many functions all built in together. So various functions can be leveraged using this software. Not all customers need all the functions. So certain scenarios where you don't need that many functionality requirement because customer doesn't have those kind of a server. As an example, you don't need to bravely back up a Unix environment. Unix, I'm saying Solaris environment, let's say. So then you don't need this, you can also do it this. So this is a software which is having a more limited functionality compared to this. But in certain cases, this one is more important, like when you have to consider backing up or protecting data from new age applications. Like for example, you would have heard about Kubernetes containers. Most of the customers are now going for Kubernetes. So this is an amazing product for backing up that, right? When you are having a VMware environment and you have to do a backup using the snapshot of VMware, this is a beautiful product there. So that reduces the overhead, that reduces the cost, and that increases the performance. Now, there are certain customers who say that I don't want to invest into hardware, software, or this, because at the end of the day, I have to put the money today for a 3 years growth path considered today. I have to then manage it. I have to then operate it, manage the operations of it, the management of it, etc., etc. I don't want that headache. Mr. Dell or Mr. Partner, you only do it for me. In that scenario, what we have is this Power Protect backup service. And Power Protect backup service, Khalid had a slide on that. This is now also renamed as Apex backup service. So if you hear Apex backup service, the same as Power Protect backup service, and this is something where customer doesn't need to own the software or the hardware. He just pays as per use, which will be either user based or the terabyte based, and we manage everything on their behalf. Right? So Dell has everything at the back end on the cloud, and backup is happening on the cloud. So this is the key thing today for many customers who don't want to have a lot of on-prem servers, etc., and they want to reduce their operation cost. So this can be a good option for that. Okay. So this covers the entire portfolio in 2 slides, which I said, right? Now I'll only talk about the use cases. So first use case, backup as a service. So this is called backup as a service, the Apex backup service that I talked about, right? So if you look at on the left hand side, you find on the top is SaaS apps. So what are the SaaS apps? It's the Microsoft 365, for example, Google Workspace, for example, Salesforce, for example. So here, if you look at the Microsoft 365, this is the lowest hanging fruit which I wanted to convey to you, because up to 2 years back, customers used to have on-prem Exchange server for emails, and that Exchange server used to be backed up because regulation, compliances, and for litigation purposes. Because emails are legal document, right? So therefore, it was always backed up. Post-COVID, Microsoft has moved everything to M365. So customers have either moved there or are in the process of moving from Exchange World to either M365 or Google Workspace, because Google is a little cheaper than M365. Now the pointer here is, both these SaaS apps don't back up the data. Very clearly in their agreement with customer, they mention that the data backup or responsibility of the data is of the customer and not the cloud service provider. So which means that now suddenly they have moved to M365 or Google Workspace, they are not backing up their data. That means that they are sitting on a volcano if there is a regulation of compliance or a litigation situation that comes up. So this is the lowest hanging fruit, and where you should go and talk about backing up or protecting the data on these SaaS apps. Similarly for Salesforce. So Salesforce, every customer today, all of us use Salesforce mostly, right? Many of us use Salesforce. Salesforce also doesn't back up data, and Salesforce is something which is most critical. It's not just the pipeline that we create on the Salesforce. When you do a DR, you are actually creating an opportunity in the Salesforce. But if you look at it in the DR, there is those stages, right? 1%, 10%, 30%, which you are supposed to religiously do, which most of you don't do. But why it is important? Because that gives the planning at our back end about how much we should source the raw material. What should be our inventory? Because if we have too much of inventory, then there's a cost. Our pricing will go up. If we don't have the inventory, then the delivery will take long time. Both ways, right? So therefore, it is very important that the Salesforce is not just a pipeline; it actually integrates to the entire ERP. So therefore, that also doesn't do backup, and this is something which helps to do backup of that. Second scenario, endpoints. All of us are having laptops, desktops, and we are also having mobile phones, Android and iPhone, right? And we are working our official work on the phones as well. So lots of official data is also accessible through our phone. Now what happens if our phone or the laptop gets lost or stolen and falls into a third party? Then your data is at risk. So the endpoint backup ensures that one, all your data is protected, backed up. Second, in the eventuality of a loss or being stolen, you can remotely wipe out the entire data. So that if it is on the wrong hands also, it doesn't get access to the data. Okay, so that's the advantage of endpoints. The third one here that you see is the hybrid. Hybrid is every customer has some virtual machines or physical machines in their setup. They would have some databases or files, and they will have some storage. So instead of having to plan their backup on-premise, they can back it up using hybrid workload onto the cloud. Okay, so these are the three offerings available, out of which the SaaS apps and hybrid, currently the promo is on, which I'll just share briefly in the next slide. So this helps to protect. This also helps in governance. So what it means by governance, there's something called legal hold and e-discovery, which means that if there is a situation where a customer wants certain data of the on-prem devices or from the user perspective to be non-editable, that means nobody can modify it, then you do the legal hold. That is more from a compliance or from an investigation, litigation scenario. Okay, so those things can happen only if you have the governance part of it. Last, if you look at is the intelligence. Intelligence is with respect to the ransomware attack. So ransomware is a very common thing nowadays, and if a customer gets an attack, it actually encrypts the entire organization, so you have no access to the data, and therefore then recovering the data back, either you pay them or you lose the data. So this solution ensures that your backed up data can never be attacked by a ransomware. So it's a ransomware protected data. So you don't need to, customer doesn't need to pay anything to the guys who have attacked if their data is protected. Okay? Now, okay, so the key part here, deployment in minutes. It's very simple to 15 minutes to half an hour. The entire backup can be deployed, implemented. So very simple, secure, scalable, complete visibility, and it is protect edge port to cloud. That means the endpoints, the servers, and even if you have data on your cloud, that can also be protected. Okay, and this is completely SaaS-based application. Now this is the two promos that we're talking about. So on this SaaS application, which is called PPBS SaaS promo or Apex Backup Service promo for SaaS applications, for 1 year subscription, ransomware protected, the minimum user license is 50 users. You can ask Ingram to give you the price. They will give you the promo price that is going on. This is one of the most aggressively priced pricing right now. Just to give you a flare of it, the per user price for whole year of subscription will be less than 2,000 rupees to you. So that means about 2,000 to 2,200, 300 rupees, you can sell it to your customer with a good margin. Per user I'm talking about. And in that per user, you're not only backing up your email or whatever, you're also backing up their OneDrive, which means indirectly you can back up your endpoints, because endpoints can be synced up to your OneDrive and you can back it up. Teams can be backed up, the SharePoint can be backed up. So all comes at this price point. Similarly, if you look at the hybrid, 1 terabyte license is the minimum. So you can multiply, if you have more than 1 terabyte, the same multiplier will happen, but you can get the price from Sirisha or Ujjwal, they can share with you. I don't want to give the price, but roughly it will be around 1,20,000 plus per terabyte to you. Now that's a very, very good price, which includes the backup, That means the backup software, the capacity of storage, you don't have any hidden egress cost from the cloud, and the data is highly available because the data is copied into 3 different regional data centers of AWS. Okay, so this is very good proposition for you to look at. Second use case, tape replace with DD. Khalid mentioned about DD 3300. So it's not that DD 3300. Any of these models, depending upon what is the size of the data, right? If it's a small size, DD 3300. If it's a bigger size, a higher DD. So what it means is, today if the customer is having tape libraries or tape drives and cartridges, then you should target that and look at replacing this with DD and put conswap in the DR, because you are swapping a competitive HP or something tape library, so it will be a competitive swap. Why should the customer replace tape? These are the challenges that the customer goes through on a daily basis when they run tape. The first challenge that they have is migration of tape, because tape technology changes every 2 years. Data has to be kept for 5 to 7 years. That means during the life cycle of the data, the tape technology changes twice or thrice. Now, if they don't migrate the data from the older technology to the newer technology, then when they need to restore the data, they will not be able to restore it. So what's the purpose of doing backup if you can't restore it, right? So tape migration becomes a challenging part because it's a hidden cost, it's a time consuming, it's a people consuming, so it's a lot of cost that goes behind it. Second is the barcode labels, and I'm sure nobody here would really bother or understand or know about why the barcode is so important.